Hi everyone, and welcome to Creative Chelsey. Today I am happy to be sharing with you my third alternative project using the December 2021 paper pumpkin kit called Lots of Pun. This fun kit creates 3 cards, and you get enough supplies in the kit to create 3 of each of these cards. And so there's a total of 9 cards that you can create. If you're interested in watching me unbox this kit or see me create these original projects or any of my other alternative projects, you can click on the playlist and I'll link it up here in the top right corner. If you are new to my channel and want to see more of my videos, click on the subscribe button and then the bell for notifications. I would love to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and help you with any of your paper crafting needs. To purchase any of the products you see today, please visit my online store and the link is in the description box below. Today I'd like to share with you 2 fun cards using the Granny Apple Green card base. And then I'm also going to be sharing with you some fun ways that you can create more card bases that look like this one. So these are actually the original card bases from the kit. And so we need to kind of create our own so that we can create these cards. Now you can see that they're also kind of a positive and negative of this shape here. So this one is kind of the negative shape, and then you've got the positive shape on this card. And they're very similar to the original card. So let's go ahead and get started. So the original card base has a Granny Apple Green border, and then there is a blue watercolor wash that's in a circle in the center. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a Granny Apple Green card base, and I'm going to do 2 because I'm making 2 cards. And so I've cut those and scored them and can place them off to this side. And then I've got 2 pieces that are 4 inches by 5 1/4. And I'm going to do 2 different ways to get this watercolor wash circle in the back. The first one I'm going to start with is a Stampin' blend marker technique. And I'm going to find something that's circle. And so this is the circle from the watercolor shape stamp set. Let me show you that stamp set. So this is a Stampin' Up! Stamp set, and it creates these really fun watercolor shapes. And we're actually going to be using this exact stamp to create our second version. But right now I'm just going to use it for a kind of a guide for a circle. So I'm going to start by just placing that in the center of my basic white cardstock. And I'm going to take my light Pool Party Stampin' blend marker, and I'm just going to draw around it. This is just a circle for my guide so that I'm creating a circle. Now if you don't want to use your stamps or you don't have a circle stamp, you could use anything that's going to give you a nice large circle. Next I'm going to take my Stampin' blend marker and I'm just going to start filling in this circle, and I'm going to use both my light and my dark. Now my Pool Party Stampin' blend markers are starting to dry out, and so this may just take a minute for me to start creating this circle. And I'm going to start with the outside edge first, just kind of trying to blend out that original line that I created. And then once that started to blend out, then I can start to add some color into that circle with my markers. Okay, so once you've got your circle filled in, you're going to now take your color lifter. And this is where you're going to create kind of that watercolor wash look. You just kind of randomly start to lighten up some of the areas, maybe along the edges and on the inside. And then you could also go back in with some darker colors to get some variation to your circle. So it's not just one color. And you can use your dark and your light blends here for that. Just kind of start blending things together just to create some fun color variations. And then when you're done, you'll have something that looks like this. And this is a perfect backdrop for your cards. Okay, and then for our second technique on how to get this watercolor circle in the background, I'm going to use the watercolor shape stamp set that I showed you earlier, and I've placed that image on my clear block. Now, when I was trying out this technique, I did just ink it and stamp it, and it comes out pretty dark. And I don't want it to be quite that dark, so I'm going to show you a way that you can get a lighter image. So you're going to use your Pool Party ink and a blending brush, and you're going to add ink to your blending brush, and then you just blend it onto your stamp. And this just lays down a nice soft layer of ink, and so that when you stamp it, it doesn't come out so dark. And then you're just going to go ahead, place that in the center, and then you want to make sure that you put even pressure all the way around that circle. And you get this really nice soft circle that's kind of has that watercolor feeling to it. Now, if you really want to be true to form, you could actually watercolor a circle with Pool Party ink on watercolor paper. But I thought it was fun to kind of see two different ways that you could do this technique a little differently. So now that we've got our backgrounds, I'm just going to go ahead and put these off to the side again, and we're going to now stamp with Granny Apple Green, some splattering from the top left corner to the bottom right corner, and we're going to do that to both of our backgrounds. Okay, so you'll notice that I kind of stayed away from the center of my cardstock where the circle is. And then I do want to add another little image to these splattering, and it's the tiny little heart that came in the kit. And so I'm just going to add those to the areas where we splattered. And this just gives a little fun interest to that splatter. So it's not something people are expecting, and so it's really fun to just look a little closer and see this little detail of the hearts amongst those splatters. Make sure to rotate the heart as you're stamping it. So you'll get something that looks like this. All right, so if we look closely at our card, we're going to see that we've got two strips that run across the center of our card. And I got those from the Pool Party envelope that I used for my first alternative project. So if you're interested in seeing that, you can click on my playlist in the top right corner. My first cut is going to be a full inch. So we're going to need two of those. And then I'm going to do 2 1/2-inch size. Now we're going to run these across our cardstock, and so we want to cut them down to 4 inches each. And so there's a little bit of like a extra cardstock right here on each end where the envelope is connected together. So you just want to start by trimming one side off and then measuring to 4 inches and trimming again. And I'm going to go ahead and do that to all of my pieces. Okay, so once you have cut your strips, we're going to attach them together. So I want to have my larger piece be Pool Party and then the smaller piece be the pattern. So I'm just going to add a little adhesive to the back of my 1/2-inch pattern strips, and then I'm going to add this to the bottom of my Pool Party. So I'm looking for maybe 1/4 of an inch to 1/8 of an inch of space at the bottom for each of those. So you'll get something that looks like this. And then we're going to add this to the center of our card. So place a little adhesive on the back of each of these strips. And then that just goes right in the center. If you want to use your grid paper to find the center, you can. So something like that. Okay, so because my Stampin' Blend circle is a little larger than my stamp circle, I'm going to use this one for the positive of the card, so kind of the punched out shape. So I've already added some dimensionals to the back of that, and I'm just going to place that right in the center of the circle over the stripes. For the negative or the rectangle piece, this circle should fit really nicely inside the opening, and so I'm just going to go ahead and find the center and place that right there over that, just like that. All right, so we can go ahead and add those now to our card base. I'm just going to use my bone folder to make a nice crease and then make sure that there's a nice even border all the way around my card. All right, do you see how close that card base looks to the original card? I might even say it looks a little better because you're able to add a little darker color here in the center compared to the original one, which is super light. Okay, so now we're able to decorate with some of the die cut pieces that come from the kit. So I have a banana and a piece of bread left from my kit. And so I'm going to go ahead and stamp those coordinating images from the stamp set. And what I like about these images is it gives just a little detail to these, I guess they're more like watercolored shapes. So here is my banana and here is my bread. All right, so then for our greetings, I'm going to go ahead and use a Toast to Your Success and Peel Better Soon on some of these word bubbles that came in the kit. So I'm going to stamp these in the early espresso, and I wanted to show you how you can separate these. So the first one I'm going to do is the banana one, and this is going on the large bubble. The second one I'm going to do is a Toast to Your Success, but this is a lot larger than the small bubble. So I'm going to only ink up to your success, and I'm going to put that at the bottom of this smaller word bubble. And this is just going to show you that even if you only have some of those small bubbles left from your kit, you can use any of the greetings because they will all fit inside. Okay, so that just goes at the bottom. Then you need to make sure that you clean your stamp and that there's no, I call it ghost stamping, where you think you've cleaned it and then you stamp it and you have this little image that's just barely there. And then you're going to ink up just a toast, and that's going to sit at the top. And I'm just going to try to center that in there. Okay. And then we're going to actually trim off the little angle at the bottom because we don't really want these to be word bubbles anymore. We're just going to put them right next to the image or the die cut. So I'm going to start with the scallops, and these can be a little tricky to add to the bottom of your greeting. And so what I like to do is just take some glue dots and put them on the back of the rectangle that I'm attaching it to. And then you have something a little bigger to work on, to hold, rather than this teeny tiny little strip. So this is going to go down, and then I'm just going to lay this on top. I'm going to bring it just like that. And it's going to catch onto those glue dots and be in place there. And then we're going to do the same thing, but with this straight one for our banana. So this one I'm going to do on the bottom. And then you do have a little more to work with here because you can use that white to hold it in place. Just like that. So I've added dimensionals to the back of each of these pieces, and I'm just going to go ahead and place them on my card. I'm starting with the piece of bread here because I think I'm going to overlap the two. So I've added a dimensional to the left side and then just adhesive to the right. And then this can kind of be placed over that and it will support and hold just like that. And then for my banana, I'm going to do the banana first and just kind of have it sit maybe like that. And then for this one, I've added a dimensional in the center and adhesive on the sides. And that's going to give it support as it sits in this opening here. So just like that. And then if you have any of the extra enamel dots left over, you can add some of these to your cards as well. I'm just going to place them kind of around and in the splattering areas, just to kind of add another little color there. Just like that. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching me create these fun cards today. If you're interested in getting your own Paper Pumpkin subscription, please use the link in the description box below to subscribe. If you're interested in getting written instructions or seeing close-up images of these cards, you can visit my blog, creativechelsey.com. Thanks so much for watching. Have a creative day. Bye.